You're tuned into Life is a Sacred Journey. Every week, we bring a new perspective to aging and caregiving. Here is your host, Micheal Pope.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you in the virtual neighborhood of Life is a Sacred Journey. It is so good to be with you this Friday morning. I have had an interesting week. It's been an interesting week. This is Pondering 30, and it's so good to be with you. We have had some incredible guests over the last month, and I want to just lift up Terry Tucker this morning and just, send good thoughts of healing out to him. And, Terry came on the show and told us about how he is fighting and living and thriving, if that's a possible thing to do, with cancer. And so just think about Terry over this weekend. For some reason, he's dancing across my heart. I will be giving him a call or sending him a text after the podcast. But Terry Tucker, we're thinking about you, and thank you for being a Life is a Sacred Journey ally and friend. I also want to thank all of you this morning with just such gratitude. This is Pondering number 30. I can't believe this is Pondering number 30. So we're going to give Felicia and Leon a round of applause, because without them, this could not happen. So here we go. Join me in a round of applause. Come on. So Pondering 30, so excited, really excited, and just very happy about everything that is happening here at Life is a Sacred Journey. We have, so many things. It just keeps happening. We got in contact, somebody got in contact with us, and they're interested in making sure that when we have somebody on with that's an author of a book, that goes a little bit further out into our audience. And so we're just very excited about that. So thank you, all of you, because you're a part of that by coming back every week, by building our viewership. And we just really, really appreciate you so much. And on this weekend, when many of us are celebrating Easter or just being with family, I want you to know how grateful I am that you are a part of the Life is a Sacred Journey family. We have done this and really grown. You should see around me now, I have 3 lights and a microphone. It's an amazing thing. And it's all because of the creativity of Felicia, and for Leon being my moral support right here he's my right arm. And so I just want to thank both of them and thank all of you, Stuart Furman, Sandy Blazer, Lynn, all of you, Nancy, everybody that's out there that comes back, Betty, Sister T, I'm going to miss somebody, Gary, my daughter, Jade, all of you, just thank you. I'm sending you a huge hug of gratitude, because today, I'm going to talk about that a little bit. And before I do that, I want to also lift up at this time, I heard about, what is her name? She is a female artist, and I'll bring the book because I actually looked for it, but I couldn't find it this morning. And you can look it up. The title of the book is Tar Beach. And she is 90 something years old, and she was interviewed on NPR and was asked, why is she still painting? Why is she still creating art? Leon, look up the author of Tar Beach for me. Mm-hmm. And why she was still doing this. And she was just like, I'm alive and I want to continue to be creative. I want to continue to be engaged. And that has been resonating with me all week. Not only after I heard it, did it hit my heart in a way that I was kind of like, whoa, but it also hit me in the sense that everybody is always asking when somebody's going to retire. And I realized that this is what that brought for me. We're always saying to people when they know you've done something and you're in a certain season of life, or you've been doing, sorry, I keep wiping my eyes, they're weepy this morning from allergies, but they keep asking you when you're going to retire and when you're going to do the, quit that job or do something. And I think that is, and I've done it. So this is not a like poke at somebody, but I realize that what we're saying to people is stop, give up, don't go any further. You're not capable anymore. You're older, you're this, you're that. And we need to be greeting each other with positive energy, positive words to say, like my friend Sandy that is here, I hope this morning, she's been away on vacation, but Sandy is always engaged and involved in church activities and women and faith and all of this. She just constantly moving. And, I remember one day I said to her, Sandy, you need to relax a little bit more and you do so much for the church. And I apologize to you, Sandy, because what I should have said is what you're doing now is you need to take more vacation. And you need to spend more time with your family, but not retire from the things that give you joy and happiness and keep you engaged in life. So I apologize to you or to anyone else that I have said that to, because that's not what this is all about. Yesterday, I had the opportunity of going to Lake Merritt. There's a beautiful assisted living home there, and they have a restaurant on the bottom floor. It's just beautiful, beautiful place. It's been there for many, many years. And I did a presentation on finding and reclaiming joy. And, so it made me realize when I asked everybody, this is the question, and I want you to write it in the chat, or if you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're just listening in a podcast, hit the pause button, go get a piece of paper and a pencil and write down the place that you have been that brought you joy. Now, and think about that first of all. So happiness, I'm gonna explain. Happiness is that external stuff that we bring into ourselves and we go, oh, this makes me so happy. Like this wonderful cup of coffee every day that I bring in the car on the work, because now I'm trying to lower my coffee intake. It's starting to give me heartburn. So that brings me happiness, cause and effect. Drinking the coffee, happiness, warm belly, love the coffee. But joy is that inner thing where it's just like you close your eyes and you feel such overwhelming connection with something. Connection either with your inner spirit, your larger spirit, just spirit, something that makes you feel, but it's coming from inside, not from outside. And they were saying such beautiful things. One of the gentlemen told me what brings him joy was his wife has dementia, or not Parkinson's dementia, and he sings to her. That brings him joy, even if there's no reaction. It's for him. It gives him purpose. He has intention. He has purpose, and then it brings him great joy to see her face and to sing to her and to be in closeness with her. And it doesn't matter whether she reacts or responds or not. It's just the joy of being with someone that he loves and sharing that space, that time, that moment, that second with someone that he loves. And I thought that was so beautiful. So right now, I'm going to give you a few seconds. Write down in the chat if you haven't already. I'm going to open my phone to look. What brings you joy? What is that internal thing that you seek, that you look for, that every day when you wake up, that brings you joy, and that you will hold on to that? Share that in the chat, and therefore you'll be sharing it with others to start to think about what their joy button is. Gratitude for me creates joy. I am so grateful every day that I get to be on this side of my journey, to be with my family, to be with my friends and my inner circle, my inner bubble, and to share with people that I don't even know. The word stranger no longer exists for me in my mind and in my heart. Everybody else is just somebody I haven't met yet. And you know, like I was looking at Nadia's our conversation, because I'm going to be getting a hold of her after Easter to get involved in the Nash method. But you know, it's just like this way of trying to understand life. And when you're trying to understand life, to be grateful for every moment of it, even some of the stuff that is kind of like last night, I had a hard time sleeping, and you know, all that kind of stuff. That's an annoyance and it's a pain in the neck. But you know, I actually finished a photo album at 3 a.m. this morning that I've been trying to put together of all my trips and with little stuff on it, so that when I die, the kids will have it. And, you know, when they're putting together the pictures for the wonderful celebration of life that they will have to prepare for me, as well as just things that I want to share with them. And, you know, to make death not this hard and rough thing that they're going to have to go through, but that they have stuff of joy around them, and that my voice is still present, and that I've shared my life with them in ways that they can share with grandchildren, and it can become a legacy thing where generations of my DNA will be able to know what I loved about Cuba and what I loved about Bali. That stuff brings me joy. Yes, I'll be sleepy later on today, but at 3 a.m. in the morning, I guess my body said, we need no more rest. Get up, let's do something. And that's what I filled the time with, and it brought me joy. So instead of erroring on, oh, woe is me, I'm going to be tired, I can't sleep, I decided to turn it into a positive opportunity. And that opportunity was to just do something that I've been meaning to do, and it brought me joy. I actually had a cup of chamomile tea, and I put a log in the fireplace because it's cold. And yeah, so it ended up being a really intimate moment with myself, which I really advise you to do from time to time. Have those intimate moments with yourself. I think that in life, the biggest gift that we give ourselves is to love ourselves first. And therefore, then we can go out to the world and with such a love for ourselves. And I don't mean from an egotistical, conceited way, but just love, inner love for yourself, that you can forgive yourself, that you can look at yourself and laugh. Somebody said that yesterday at Lake Merritt, you know, they said, if I couldn't laugh at myself, I don't know what I would do. Same kind of thing. I laugh at myself all the time. This morning, I was laughing at myself because I wanted to change pocketbooks, something that I very rarely do. But I got a present to myself. I took a little bit. I didn't really do well with my taxes this year because of some foolishness. But at the end of the day, I had a little bit that, you know, I put most of it away for future years. But I wanted this backpack thing, and I was so happy that I was able to afford to get it. So I was putting stuff in it this morning because, you know, I'm one of those people, when I get something brand new, I want to use it. I want to activate it by putting my smells on it. If it's shoes, I got to wear them, break them in, all that. So that's what I did. But I forgot a lot of stuff that I normally carry with me. But I laughed at myself when I got here this morning, because I was laughing that I got a bigger purse, and actually it's missing half of the things that I bought it for to carry. So no big deal, no big stressor. Oh, wow, who cares? But it was funny. And I sat in the car for a few minutes and just chuckled at myself and realized that there is so much joy in just laughing with abandonment. And I actually belched after I finished laughing. So I must have had a little air bubble from, and as I said, drinking too much coffee. So I felt better after I laughed. And then I realized, don't take yourself so seriously, Micheal. It's not that important. And as long as I have my inhalers, that's really the most important thing. And I have those all over the place in case I have an asthma attack. So that's more important than the thing that I forgot in my purse. So what brings you joy? I hope that you have shared that. And while we're talking about joy today, because I am excited about doing that, I remember I shared this book with you. It's the Book of Joy, and it's a conversation between two people who I love more than anything else. They're like my mentors of my mind, my body, my faith, the Dalai Lama and Bishop Desmond Tutu, Archbishop Desmond Tutu. And I love it because in the back it says, this is a quote from Archbishop Desmond Tutu. We grow in kindness when our kindness is tested. And then His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, says, the ultimate source of happiness is within us. So again, happiness and joy live in the same house, but they're not necessarily, and they are not the same thing. So this is one of the pieces that I want to share. I have a couple of things I want to share with you in here. But the part that I pulled up to begin this pondering is the chapter that is, you are a masterpiece in the making. And I thought about that. And I've been thinking about that and writing about that in my journal. And I'm comparing it to learning to play the acoustic guitar and learning to paint, which are two things that I've taken on now that I'm trying to do. You know, I've always had the desire. It doesn't mean I have the talent for it, but I have the desire, so I'm going to try. And the guitar is coming really well, actually. I'm beginning to remember where the chords are, and my fingers are still sore. I'm in that still baby infancy stage of playing the guitar where I don't have all the calluses yet, but I will soon. But I'm practicing more, and I'm loving it more because I'm beginning to hear music, which is giving me so much joy. Daisy, the dog, is not still happy with me playing the guitar for some reason. Every time I start to play, she goes in her bed and scoots under her blanket. So she's still not happy with the sounds coming out of it, but I am much happier. So that brings me joy. Then the other is the painting. I'm not doing painting by number or anything like that, and I'm not doing oil because that's takes a little bit more talent than I think that I have it right now, and I may grow to that in my mind. But watercolors, and I got really nice paper and really nice brushes and really nice watercolor colors, and I got the palette so I could know how to mix them to make colors that I don't have. And I haven't painted anything yet. They're just strokes on the paper or things like this. I'm bringing out my Jean-Michel Baptiste. I'm doing all of those things, and it brings me joy. The other side of what I could be experiencing is thinking of myself as not being a masterpiece created. So think about a piece of art that you love and think about the artist. And if you look it up, you will find, because this is what I did, Matisse is one of my, oh my gosh, I love Matisse. I took a whole course on Matisse in college just because I love the art. It resonated with me as a young person, and it still does. You think about a painting that he created, or the chapel where he went inside and created this beautiful chapel. How long did those masterpieces take to become masterpieces that you and I look at and feel happiness, feel joy, and want to keep going back and revisiting and being and feeling that experience again? How long? Quite some time. Think about a person who is a sculptor or and the medium that they use, if it's not clay, or even if it's clay, that you have to mold it and make it. And sometimes you get to a point where you have to slam it down and start all over again. Or if you chisel away at marble or rock to create something, how long does it take to create a masterpiece? Why is it that we don't have the same patience with ourselves to turn into the masterpiece that we were created to be? It takes time to learn your purpose. It takes time to forgive yourself for things that you carry that sometimes are real, sometimes aren't. It takes time to work with generational hurt and pain and violence and everything. It's in our DNA. It takes time to have the self-knowledge that you need to do something different, the self-knowledge that something needs to be better in your life. It takes time to find the resources. Once you have the knowledge, you go, hey, yeah, I need to change that. Oh, like I did this time last year when I came to you. Believe it or not, my friends, I've lost almost 30 pounds since this time last year. And I feel so much better, and my high blood pressure is better. The pills, I'm praying that she will take me off of them, because I think I don't need them. They're making me dizzy and they're making me sick, and my blood pressure is really low. But that took self-awareness, self-reflection, and then knowledge to self-knowledge of what's going on with me. Why am I getting these migraine headaches and all of that kind of thing, and realizing, no, you're the captain of this ship. And I am not the Titanic. You're not the Titanic. And so joy means creating a ship of self-awareness, self-knowledge, getting out there, getting the resources, the information, telling other people, sharing it, thinking about, feeling it in your body, writing things down that you know you must do. How do you become a masterpiece? How do you reflect the inner dreams and visions that you carry about yourself and that you see for your future or for the next moment that you're breathing and living on this planet? We have a lot of people walking around, and I was watching something the other day, and I realized that a lot of people are in great pain, because only people who hurt. And when you can say such vile things, and I have my time to time catch myself doing that, getting so angry about something that I say something that I really don't mean, but it's already out of my mouth and it's ugly and it's in the stratosphere, and I'm only adding to the decay of the earth with that drama. Learning to do better, learning how to control that, because the harsh words, if I brought them up out of me, then you know what? I brought that ugliness up out of me. And while it's out now, it still had to come up out. And in its path, it was nastiness. And so we got to work together, and we gotta work together to be our best selves. You know, I think I've said that. I think if I go back and look at all of the ponderings, which I never will, I've probably said, how do we be our best selves a lot? But in the book of joy, that is one of the chapters of understanding that you are a masterpiece in the making. And when you understand you're a masterpiece in the making, then you elevate your understanding that you have to live in a place of gratitude. And when you live in a place of gratitude, you understand your purpose. And then when you understand your purpose, you begin to feel joy. Sounds like a lot, and it is heavy. It is heavy because, I have said this a lot too. There was a time that I was thriving on neglect and I was proud of it. Oh boy, I was so proud of the neglect of my spirit, the neglect of my soul, the neglect of my health, the neglect of everything. And I was proud of my neglect. And there were other people around me who fed my pride of my neglect by telling me and honoring my ability to do this and to do that and la la la. And then I got sick for the first time in my whole entire life, other than tonsil, where they took my tonsils out when I was a teenager. I got strep throats a lot, ear infection. So they took them that long to decide. I was like early teens. They took my tonsils out. That's it. No other eczema. I had my asthma my whole life, but those things, that's it. And then I got sick, and I got really sick, and I needed surgery, and I needed pills, and I needed, and I kept thinking, what is this about? And it was about not saying time out. It was about not understanding that I was a masterpiece in the making and I didn't have to run myself to death. There was a time, my friends, that I would leave my office, go home, go to a basketball game, go to a track meet, because at this time of the season, basketball and track were going on at the same time. And do those two things, go home with Jade, because she was in high school then, go back home with Jade. She would get settled in, do her thing. I'd get back in my car, come back to the office and do work till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, get back in my car, go home, cook breakfast, because we always had breakfast, drive her to school, because I drove her to school until, off and on, and maybe not drive her to school that particular morning because I was trying to stay awake. Come back to ASAP, work a full day, and go home. And I did that for a lot of time, not months, not weeks, not months, but years. One, it was because I wanted to be there for Jade, and I wanted to be a good mom and to be a parent that always showed up, so people wouldn't talk about the fact that she came from a single parent household and la 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 la, because we live in a hoity-toity neighborhood where people just gossip too much. And she had always somebody present. Sometimes I was running late, but I was there. And that was really important. ASAP was important to me. It was in the beginning when I was just becoming executive director, and I didn't want to let Lance Reynolds, who was the board president, who had so much faith in me, down. And I didn't want to let the participants down and the families down and the community that was donating here. I still don't, but I was in the beginning phases, and I needed to learn things, and I needed to figure out the systems, and I felt the obligation. Nobody to blame. Nobody made me do it. I'm not saying woe is me. I'm just explaining to you how I got to that place. That was a necessity of that place in my life. But then I realized out of necessity, I was also hurting myself, because I didn't take time off to rejuvenate mind, body, and spirit in order to live that life. I live the same kind of life. I'm not running the basketball games anymore. I miss that. I'm not running the track meets anymore. I miss that. My children are grown, but I have to be home to feed Daisy. I can't leave her all day long now that her buddy is gone. So I still have an obligation to something else that requires my time to be ratcheted around that or fixed around that. I'm engaged and involved in the church hierarchy leadership more than probably I should be, or I think that sometimes, yeah, anyway, I'll leave that alone. Let me leave that one alone for today. And then I'm here at ASEB, and I love ASEB. And then I have a very full life. I mean, I'm doing a lot of great things in my life, along with Leon and Felicia. We're doing great things with the podcast. We're doing great things. We're getting ready to do more with the Patreon stuff. I'm getting ready to put together a masterclass. I mean, I'm doing things that I love. I'm working in the community and helping to create Black spaces of economics for young people to start businesses and do things. I'm doing so much, but I'm living out my purpose, my vision, my dream, my life. And when you do that, the energy comes to get it done. Do I tire? Yeah, I tire. But I am trying to be a masterpiece. By the time I close my eyes for the last time, I will be always a masterpiece in making. And so are you. You are a masterpiece in making, and never deny yourself that you are. Never let anyone like me, sometimes with good intention, when I told Sandy, oh, you need to slow down and you need to retire and you need to give up. Don't listen to that. Don't listen to me if I say that. Not to mention it's ageism, right? Oh my gosh. And I was practicing something that I'm against. So that's one. And before we go, this is one of the meditations that I wanted to share with you, or what I thought was morning intention setting. This is from both Archbishop Desmond Tutu and the Dalai Lama. So they're talking about setting morning intention. So the morning intention is when you sit comfortably, and you can cross your legs, or you can sit in meditation seat, or however you want to do it, but you sit comfortably. Get your sciatic in order, get your back in order, get your spine in order. And one of the things that I have realized as I'm aging, because I have sciatic and back stuff, I have this pillow that I keep behind me. You see all my affirmations everywhere, folks. Keep your affirmations everywhere. And I put that, and then I have this, I sit on this. Okay, that's why I'm so high up. I sit on this. So I sit on this, and this is in my back, and I've got a orthopedic back thingy that you press and it pushes back here. So I get myself comfortable. So get comfortable wherever you are, and move your hips back in place. Your hips are the alignment for your torso. And what I'm learning is this torso, this core, has to be strong. And it starts from your pelvic area all the way up here to up through your breastbone. Up through the breast area. And that's where your abdomen and your muscles and all of those things. And there's a natural girdle in there. But when we allow ourselves, and this happens to me, I start this way, but then as the day goes on, I'm bending, my neck comes down, my shoulders go up. We have to constantly be pulling ourselves back, because that's where you get that curvature as time goes on. And if you're sitting in a chair right now, take your arms and put them back behind the chair. And if you can reach your hand, you don't have to, but if you can, crack. You see how I'm going back? I'm grasping my hands, and I do this throughout the day for a few minutes, and then I lift my feet up off the ground. So they're just up off the ground by maybe a couple of inches, maybe. And I hold it, and then I let go. And then shake it out. Because if you're sitting in front of a computer doing Zoom or anything, oh, that felt so good. Did that feel good? I hope you did it. Come on, you guys, don't have me over here doing and you're not doing it. So we want to do it one more time? Let's do it one more time before we end the podcast today. So we're going to take our arms around the chair, whatever chair you're sitting in. If long as it's not a wing back and something that you can't. But I can grasp because I've been doing this a minute. And if you can't touch the tips of your fingers, that's fine. But however far you can do it without it causing too much pain, but you do want to feel a stretch. Not a stretch to pop your neck out of place, but just enough that you know that your arm is around the chair. All right. And then pull back just enough so that your shoulders get back in line, your hips in order. Pull your legs up off the ground by a couple of inches. Just imagine me doing it. Leon can see me. He's keeping me honest. I'm doing it. Okay. Take a deep breath in through your nose, blow out, and and then shake it out. And I always pop because being an old athlete, all my joints pop all the time. So set that intention and do that every morning. And that's what they're saying. Have a comfortable practice every single morning where you stretch your body out. Put your feet on the ground so that you feel the foundation of the earth under you and be grateful for it. Experience that moment and feel the joy of knowing that you woke up, even though you may have arthritis, even though it may hurt a little bit, whatever, you're awake, you're alive. They say, close your eyes and take several long, deep breaths through your nose and ask yourself, what is in my heart's desire? What do I wish for myself, for my loved ones, and for the world? And then say, may all beings attain happiness. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings never be separated from joy. And may all beings abide in equanimity. So when we live a life where we take care of our inner stuff, that we revisit every day a grateful place, where we reach out and be intentional in relationship communication with others, then we are able to experience not only happiness, because happiness will be the sip of coffee that I take, but we will experience the joy, the joy of like when one of the folks said to me yesterday when I left after doing pretty much this presentation on joy, but more in depth. And he took my hand and he said, I love you. I never met this man before in my life. And I said to him, I love you too. And that's what it's all about. It's this, and a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people don't like feeling that. They want to say, oh, that's, he's old and yeah, he was just, you were brought a little joy in and he was just feeling. No, we had a connection. We had a connection, and I did with other people there, but he and I had a connection where we had to touch each other before we left. And I hugged him and he hugged me, and I promised him that I would come back and visit, and I will go back and visit him. So connection is not just with the people who have the DNA that you have in your body, meaning family DNA. The connection is bigger because we belong to a bigger family, and it's the human family. And I know that a lot of people don't like that. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. They think it's frou-frou and it's too much for them to take on. But I'm here to tell you, for me, there's no other way to walk the face of the planet. I have to walk understanding that the rest of the humanity has a right to walk just as much as I do. And when that brings me joy, that makes me grateful, and that makes me happy. So thank you, all of you out there in the Life is a Sacred Journey family. You bring me joy and you bring me happiness, and it is my privilege and honor to serve by using this platform to share my thoughts, my ideas, to bring other people in, to bring in their best practices so that maybe, if you're doing something in your life and you need to feel supported and have an accountability partner, think of Life as a Sacred Journey as your accountability partner. We'll be your accountability partner as long as you come with joy, happiness, and a little bit of love and forgiveness and a whole lot of grace. We got to do that. So have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Go out and hug a tree. Go out and pet a cat and pet a dog and let somebody know you love them. Reach out and say, you know what? I love you. Not because maybe I know you. Actually, if you're watching live this morning, just write in the chat, I love you. I love you. And I will do so as soon as I'm done here and I have my phone in my hand. So all of you out there, it is Easter weekend. It is Holy Weekend for many of us who live under the banner of calling ourselves Christians. And so, but there are people still out in the world who are suffering and who feel like their life doesn't matter, and they're not understanding that they're a masterpiece in the making. And for those individuals out there, I finally put it on a Post-it note so that every Friday I can say it. It's 1-800-273-8255. And that's the Suicide Lifeline chat line. You can text to it, you can call it, and you can get through to them, and they will help you through this moment of you thinking that you're not a masterpiece in the making. So 1-800-273-8255. Go in somewhere and tell somebody, there's an angel somewhere that if you don't have a phone, they'll dial the number for you and allow you to get a hold of somebody so that you can be helped. So the sun is coming up. Did you see the sun just changed the whole color of my skin? I love it. All right, you guys, have a great weekend. Thank you for coming to Life is Sacred Journey. Hit the share button, do whatever, subscribe, do everything that you can so that we can share more of our messaging with more people out there. To all of you who come back every Friday, thank you so much for joining us here on Facebook Live. My name is Micheal Pope, and this is Life is a Sacred Journey, and we wish you the bestest of Easter weekend, and we wish you self-reflection and self-love. Peace.